Go silent. Then do this. The psychology of making them feel your absence. People get silence completely wrong. They think it's passive, weak, childish, avoidant. But the truth is simple and brutal. Silence is a strategy, and when used correctly, it hits harder than any argument, any message, any explanation you could ever give. Silence isn't about ignoring them. It's about forcing them to finally face what they've been avoiding. Your worth, your absence, and the emotional gap you used to fill. If you want them to feel your value, your distance, your presence missing from their life, you don't chase. You don't beg. You don't over-explain. You don't fight for someone who won't meet you halfway. You go silent the right way. Not to punish, not to manipulate, but to create the only kind of space that forces a real psychological shift inside the other person. Let's break it down step by step, the exact movement, the exact energy, the exact mindset that makes them rethink everything. Why silence works and why words don't. Talking doesn't change people. Explaining doesn't change people. Long emotional paragraphs definitely don't change people. People don't wake up because you tell them how you feel. People wake up because they feel the loss of your presence. Words are ideas. Silence is impact. When you keep talking, they tune out. When you keep giving, they take it for granted. When you keep reaching, they step back. But when everything stops, when the messages vanish, when the calls don't come, when the energy drops to zero, their comfort collapses instantly. People notice absence faster than effort, and silence creates the one thing that forces reflection: discomfort. It interrupts their pattern. It disrupts their rhythm. It breaks their expectation. And nothing wakes someone up faster than a pattern break. Why chasing never works and why you always lose power doing it. Let's be brutally honest. Chasing makes you predictable. Predictability makes you easy. Ease makes you invisible. The more you chase, the more they relax. The more you pursue, the more they withdraw. The more you explain, the less they listen. Chasing tells them, I'll always be here. You can act distant. You can disappear. You can respond when you feel like it. I won't leave. That destroys your value instantly. Because humans are wired to undervalue anything guaranteed. Silence does the opposite. Silence says, I'm not competing. I'm not begging. I'm not available by default. If you want me, you move. That's the shift. That's the pressure. That's the psychological punch. Silence forces them to step toward you or lose you, and both choices make them confront something real. The power of walking away, psychology explained. When you walk away calmly, not angrily, not dramatically, not emotionally, you create a psychological void. And here's the truth you need to understand. The human brain hates voids. They try to fill it mentally. They replay interactions. They question what happened. They wonder why you stopped. They feel the absence like a weight. And the most important part, they start to imagine you moving on. That imagination hits harder than reality. Nothing makes someone feel your worth faster than the thought that someone else might see it. Your silence activates their fear of losing access to you. Not because they necessarily valued you properly before, but because losing you wasn't real until you stayed quiet. Walking away silently triggers 3 psychological reactions. Curiosity, why did you stop? Confusion, did they misread you? Fear, did they just lose you? These reactions build pressure. Pressure builds awareness. Awareness builds desire. And desire is what you could never create by chasing. How going silent shifts the power dynamic. Let's break the dynamic before silence. You were the one trying. You were the one initiating. You were the one giving. You were the one explaining. You were the one carrying the emotional weight. After silence, they feel the gap. They sense the change. They notice the distance. They start questioning themselves. They become aware of your absence. That's the flip. That's the moment the power shifts. Your silence is not emptiness, it's leverage. It's a reset. It's a reversal of roles. The person who was once distant becomes alert. The person who was once relaxed becomes tense. The person who had options starts feeling the loss of one specific option, you. They don't admit it immediately. They don't show it instantly. They don't act on it right away. But internally, they feel the crack. The secret move that leaves them thinking about you. This is where most people ruin everything. They go silent, but they wait for a reaction. Wrong move. Silence only works when you detach authentically, not perform it like a trick. The secret move is this. You go silent and you improve your energy. You focus on your life. Build yourself again. Raise your standards. Strengthen your mindset. Become emotionally unavailable to nonsense. You're not sitting by the phone. You're not obsessing. You're not wondering what they're thinking. You're not waiting for their next move. You're focusing on you, not on them. This is the part that breaks them. Because silence plus glow up equals psychological shock. They expect silence to mean sadness. But when your silence creates confidence, peace, and elevation, that's when they feel your absence on a deeper level. You're no longer the version of yourself that tolerated their bare minimum. You're not begging to be chosen. You're not waiting for validation. You're busy becoming someone they don't have access to anymore. That's the moment their mind snaps awake. When and how to break the silence for maximum effect, but not yet. Breaking silence isn't about timing. It's about growth. You break silence only when your emotions are stable. You're not seeking validation. You're not reacting. You're not waiting for closure. You're not craving attention. You're strong enough to walk away again. If silence is a test, breaking silence is the final exam, and you only speak again when you know you won't fall into the old dynamic. How silence flips the power they thought they had. Here's the ugly truth people avoid saying out loud. Most relationships collapse because one person keeps giving and the other keeps taking. The giver gets drained, the taker gets blind, and the whole connection becomes lopsided. Silence isn't just not talking. Silence is a correction, a reset, a psychological shock. When you stop engaging, a few brutal things happen inside their mind. Their predictability breaks. They got used to your reaction, your attention, your presence. They counted on it. When you disappear from that pattern, their brain hits panic mode. They lose control of the narrative. As long as you were talking, they were comfortable. They felt in charge. Silence removes their script, and now they don't know what happens next. Their ego gets starved. Attention is fuel. Silence cuts the supply line abruptly, and nothing triggers self-reflection faster than a starved ego. They begin replaying everything in their mind. The behaviors they ignored. The mistakes they dismissed. The moments they didn't value. Silence forces them to confront what they pushed aside. When you stop chasing, they don't just miss you. They miss the version of themselves that felt powerful around you. That's why silence hits them harder than any argument. The secret move that makes them think about you nonstop. Here's the part most people mess up. Silence works only when your behavior stays consistent. Meaning, no checking their stories, no liking their posts, no indirect status updates, no accidental interactions, no emotional leaks, no explaining your silence. The moment you slip, the power goes back to them. Your absence must feel like a wall, not a door they can peek through. And here's what happens in their mind when your silence is clean. 1. They start analyzing your every move. Before, they were used to your availability. Now, they're trying to decode your thoughts from your lack of response. 2. They wonder if someone else has your attention. Silence creates a vacuum. The human mind fills that vacuum with fear. 3. They rethink the way they treated you. Regret hits hardest in quiet rooms. The more silent you stay, the louder their conscience becomes. 4. They imagine losing you for real. Not in theory, not in the moment of a fight, but permanently. This shakes them in a way words never could. 5. They begin realizing your worth through contrast. They compare the peace you gave to the emptiness they feel now. And emptiness always wins. Silence is not just absence. It's contrast. And contrast is what wakes people up. When and how to break the silence for maximum impact. Breaking silence too early kills the entire effect. Breaking it too late makes you look detached beyond repair. So here's the rule. Break silence only when 3 conditions are met. 1. You're no longer angry. Silence driven by emotion isn't silence, it's a tantrum. You break power when your silence is cold, not emotional. 2. You genuinely stop caring about their reaction. If you still want validation, don't break it. If you still want revenge, don't break it. Break silence only when you're grounded. 3. Your standards have changed. If you return the same way you left, nothing changes. If you return with upgraded boundaries, everything changes. How to break the silence. Short messages, not essays. Logic, not emotion. Calm tone, not passive-aggressive hints. No blame shifting. No reminders of the past. No desperate energy. The point of breaking silence is not to reconnect. It's to restart from a stronger position. If they come back with genuine clarity, effort, and accountability, good. If they come back with breadcrumbs, silence them again. You're not recycling patterns anymore. Final words, claim your worth back. Understand this once and for all, silence isn't about making them suffer. It's about reminding yourself who you are. You're not a doormat. You're not a backup plan. You're not an emotional landfill for someone who shows up only when convenient. Your silence is a declaration. I choose myself first. And that declaration does what your words could never do. It cleans your energy. It resets your standards. It filters the wrong people. It exposes the ones who don't value you. It attracts the ones who are meant for you. You don't chase anymore. You don't beg anymore. You don't over-explain anymore. You go silent and let your absence speak the truth. If you wanted me, you would have treated me right. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is leverage. Silence is clarity. Silence is self-respect in its purest form. And the moment you master it, they feel your absence more than they ever felt your presence.